Welcome back to the channel, people. Now, Leoda Bradshaw and her cousin attorneys, I have to just tell them the truth. That there's no way possible them can break this case. And that justice must be served for Tashana Patterson and her daughter, Saraya Palwell. Now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the ODPP, says it will vigorously be opposing any attempts to release sealed information about the plea deals and the transcripts of the accompanying hearings for the two convicts recently sentenced in connection with the murder of the 10-month-old girl and her mother. And with 2 out of the 4 already confessing, we don't know what Leoda Bradshaw feel like our attorneys will be able to do for her. Now, Roshane Miller and Ricardo Brown, who were among the 4 persons charged in connection with the deadly plot, pled guilty. Them decides to based on the type of crime and the outrage what society has shown upon the crime they committed, them plead guilty. Or maybe I just them conscience. Now, both pled guilty to separate charges, seeing that based on how the law is, I guess they played separate roles in the plot. Miller was sentenced to 7 years and 10 months, while Brown received 30 years for his part. Now, these are just the cronies. Palwell's spouse, baby mother of his child, is the alleged mastermind for the whole plot. And she has also been charged and remanded. Now, responding to a request from her lawyers, Deborah Martin, for copies of the transcripts of the hearings and the details of the plea deals, the Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Andrea Martin Tr0uble, indicated her objections. Now, maybe the defense want to use the scenario of saying these other 2 are just putting the blame on these 2. But keep in mind, these 2 individuals that have already pled guilty and have already been convicted had no prior connections to Tasha and her daughter. Them don't know them from nowhere. The only person who have a connection to them is Leoda Bradshaw, Palwell's other baby mother, who, in spite of talking to the media, because when she found upon the island, she spoke to the media, saying that she have only heard of the situation and not spoken to her directly, and that she was not jealous. But she found her yard immediately after hearing that. That's something she exposed in the conversation without even realizing, saying that she was not concerned and that, things do happen and she hoped for the best. But she fly out, she said, call it immediately after hearing this news. So if you're not so concerned, you be the Navy officer, you take leave and foul the yard for what? What she fly out to the Jamaican island for do? Now, the lead prosecutor was quoted as saying, those documents that the defense attorneys are seeking are under a seal order by the Honorable Court. And as much as lady would want to have those documents, she says the ODPP will vehemently oppose any application to have these documents unsealed. Now, while cutting out the prosecution, Justice Vivette Graham Allen, who appeared peeved by the prosecutor's assertion during the case management hearing in the Home Circuit Court, said, if they are under a seal by the court, they are under a seal by the court. Meaning if it's sealed, it's sealed. She was then quoted as saying, how then could a judge of concurrent jurisdiction, a judge on the same island, sit in appeal of another judge in a concurrent jurisdiction? It would be very improper of this judge to do any such thing. Very, very improper, she emphasized. Now, surprisingly enough, even though the attorneys representing Leoda Bradshaw and the attorney representing her cousin were not the attorneys representing the other 2 who confessed. Now, Leoda Bradshaw's defense attorney, said she too learned today and was unaware of this, and that they were absolutely ignorant of what transpired, except for press releases that have been published by the DPP, telling the public that which they claim the DPP chooses. And they are now saying, having learned about the sealed documents, they are requesting the particulars to facilitate an application before the appropriate body to vary the order and to ensure a fair trial for her client and the co-accused, Roland Balford. Both are facing capital murder charges. Or maybe the level of cooperation. And for the better part, it seems that Balfour's lawyer is just going along with Bradshaw's lawyer, saying that for his part, well, this is the problem that most people have with cases like these, where there's public outrage, individuals are behind the bars, and are just the case proceedings. Earlier, the court was informed that the case file was incomplete. 2 individuals confess already and get sentenced. With the case file incomplete. Forensic material from the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Communication, Forensic and Cyber Crimes Division, forensic certificate from the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, as well as statements from the police investigators were said to be outstanding. The judge ordered that forensic certificates and the material, which included cell data records, to be submitted by February 29th. Now, the judge gave law enforcement until March 6th, and Leoda Bradshaw and her cousin have been remanded until such time. So law enforcement, they're going to interview more witnesses, talk to more people, look over more data, so that the prosecutors can have as much evidence as needed, as well as send over all of what them have to the defense. So that's the next time them show up, you know, hear about incomplete files, you know, hear about defense I see this and defense wasn't given that. Now the cousin Balford, his charges, for those who don't know, are 2 counts each of accessory before the fact to kidnapping and accessory before the fact to murder. Now the official total for the contract has now been disclosed. They said that the contract was a $500,000 contract, and that Bradshaw allegedly paid 100,000 Jamaican dollars in US currency as a down payment, seeing that she had just arrived in the island or on the island and probably never changed out her money. Seemed like she paid out a pocket for this. So for all I would have wondered if Tr0uble involved, and no, that is why Tr0uble was never a part of the investigation, because Bradshaw allegedly paid out of pocket for the contract. Now, with the help of her cousin and co-defendant, Balford, Bradshaw reportedly contracted the men, including Russian Miller and Richard Brown. Now, maybe this is why the defense want to know why one individual was given a certain time and the other one wasn't. As I would say, at the role with them play, it is alleged that the individual who got the longer sentence actually pulled the trigger. And so we see now, the other individual was just somebody who went along with that individual. Now the court also heard confirmation that Bradshaw allegedly traveled to Jamaica with the sole purpose of taking the life of the woman and her child, and that she booked a ticket to the island the day after learning about the child's existence. So despite being on the island and being interviewed by tabloids and saying there was no bad feeling, there was no ill will towards her spouse's new baby mother and her child, she exposed the fact that she was only here moments after knowing. So if you don't care why you fly in, what the purpose of your visit? Well, it was told to the court the purpose of that visit was to take the life of Miss Patterson and her child. Talk to me in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and just pass through, we'll click the subscribe icon and then the bell icon, and of course, put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. And tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them for check out the channel and also check out the reason. Until the reason again, live, love and prosper and stay tuned.